Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into the super critical world of cybersecurity incident response. We're going to talk about how you stop just, putting out fires all the time and move to a clear, data-driven process that actually makes your organization safer. Let's break down exactly how to measure and improve your efforts. So, it's no secret that security breaches are a huge problem. I mean, the costs are just staggering. And we're not just talking about the obvious stuff, like hackers demanding money. We're talking about all the hidden costs. Your best people getting burned out and leaving, your brand's reputation taking a hit, and maybe even massive regulatory fines. There's so much on the line.
And that right there leads to the million-dollar question. You're pouring all this time, all this money, and all this effort into incident response. But how do you actually know if you're getting any better? Are your defenses stronger this month than last month? Or are you just treading water? Without some way to measure it, you're pretty much flying blind.
And that brings us to the core solution, a piece of wisdom that is so true in cybersecurity. The only way to move from that chaos to clarity is by using data. By setting up the right metrics, you can finally get a clear picture of what's working, what isn't, and where you need to focus your resources to make a real difference. Okay, but before we go any further, we really need to clear something up. People throw around the terms KPIs and metrics like they're the same thing, but they're not. KPIs, key performance indicators, those are your big picture targets. They tell you if you're hitting your main goals. Metrics, though, they track the nitty-gritty processes that help you get to those KPIs. Think of it like this. Your KPI is the destination you want to get to. The metrics, they're the turn-by-turn directions from your GPS that actually get you there. Now, you might be thinking, great, but there are like a million things I could track. And you're right, it can feel super overwhelming, but we can make this a lot simpler. We're going to group all those potential data points into three simple but really powerful categories: prevalence, effectiveness, and time. First up, we've got prevalence metrics. These are all about quantity. It's all about the how much and how often. Think about it. How many security alerts are you getting every day? How many support tickets are your users opening? How many actual incidents are you dealing with per month? They answer that really basic question, how often is this happening? And check this out. This is a perfect example of how a simple prevalence metric can tell you so much. This chart shows which of your security tools are actually finding things. See that big blue bar on the left? That's your IDS, your intrusion detection system. It is doing all the heavy lifting. It flagged 10 incidents. But then, look all the way over to the right. Tripwire, your antivirus, they found 0, nothing. This doesn't just tell you what happened, it tells you exactly where you need to start digging. Is the IDS way too sensitive? Or are these other tools even switched on? Okay, next up are effectiveness metrics. See, it's not just about how many incidents pop up, it's about how well you're actually dealing with them. These metrics are all about the quality and efficiency of your response. Are your solutions actually fixing the problem for good? Is your team working smart? This category answers that critical question, how well are we handling it? And this slide is a fantastic example. A super direct way to measure this is cost per ticket. You basically add up everything, your team's time, any consultant fees, the cost of your software, all to resolve one single issue. By tracking this number, you can see if your whole process is getting more or less expensive over time. And trust me, that's a number that gets everyone from the tech team to the CFO paying attention. And last, but definitely not least, we have time-based metrics. Because let's be real, in cybersecurity, speed is everything. Every single second counts. An attacker who has days or even just hours inside your network can do way more damage than one you catch in minutes. So these metrics are all about speed, asking that crucial question, how fast are we responding? This timeline breaks it all down into the critical stages. It all starts when the compromise happens. From there, you measure your mean time to detect, then your mean time to acknowledge, and finally, your mean time to resolution. And get this, the source material had this wild example. One company took a jaw-dropping 6 months just to realize they'd been breached. 6 months. But, and this is the fascinating part, once they found the breach, they shut it down in just 3 hours. So what does that tell you? Their response plan was actually really good. But their detection, whoa, a huge gap there. All right, so we've got our framework: prevalence, effectiveness, and time. Now let's make this real. How does this actually work in practice? We're going to apply it to something every single organization on the planet faces: phishing attacks. And make no mistake, phishing is a massive, massive problem. Just look at this number from the security vendor Kaspersky. Almost 60% of all email traffic in the world is spam. And that's the main way these phishing attacks get delivered. This isn't some rare event, it's a constant daily barrage against your people.
So, this is where you put our framework to work. For prevalence, you track the total number of phishing incidents, and maybe even more important, which departments are getting hit the hardest. For effectiveness, you can track the escalation rate, like what percentage of emails that people report are actually dangerous. And for time, you track your mean time to resolution. How fast can you shut down a phishing campaign once you know it's real?
Okay, so let's connect all of this back to what really matters for any organization, the bottom line. This isn't just about security for the sake of security. It's about building a more resilient and, yes, a more profitable business.
This flowchart just lays it all out perfectly. If you follow the arrows with me, it all kicks off at the top with better training. That leads to your team actually executing better, which then lets you develop meaningful metrics. Those metrics act like a roadmap, showing you where to focus to build real cyber resilience. And what happens then? Well, your whole operation becomes more efficient because you're spending less time and money cleaning up messes. And at the very bottom, you see it. More efficient operations lead directly to higher profits. It's a clear, logical path from data to dollars.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, the real takeaway is this. Your data is telling a story, whether you're listening to it or not. Right now, your security metrics, or your lack of them, are telling a story about your organization's readiness. So the question you should leave with is, what story is your data telling you today? And how can you use these principles to start writing a much better one for tomorrow?